Hey everyone, my name's David Chabukas. Today I'm going to be presenting on a requirements management tool called Visure. Um, the official title is Requirements Management ALM Platform. So before I present, I thought you should know a little bit about the voice behind the screen. My name's David Chabukas, like I said. I currently work as a financial advisor for Edward Jones. I really love playing tennis, board games, and disc golf. In this picture is my fiance Becca and her two foster boys. You've got Kendall on the right, who is 3.5, and Carter on the left. They've actually got a court date on the 9th of December, so they may be going back home to their mom, which is awesome. So let's go ahead and move forward. So I wanted to start off with talking about why, or asking the question, why should you use a tool for requirements engineering? Couldn't we just use Microsoft Word, Excel, notepads, and conversations to nail down requirements? So basically, isn't what we've done in class good enough? I wanted to start with this quote. The most important single aspect of software development is to be clear about what you are trying to build. So there are countless reasons that a tool should be used for requirements engineering. The overall requirements engineering process is one that gets rather complex rather quickly. That complexity is often caused by three things: people, process, and procedures. So people are challenging. When you have people working together to solve a problem or develop a solution, there are going to be issues. Issues including poor communication, bias, and disorganization. When you utilize a requirements engineering tool, you reduce issues associated with poor communication and disorganization. There will never be a perfect tool when it comes to people, but a centralized and easy to use tool can help reduce these issues. So let's talk about process. One of the biggest benefits of utilizing a requirements engineering tool is the ability to streamline your process. Without such tool, the process may be vague or understood differently by different people. The process can continue to be refined for efficiency and effectiveness. And lastly, procedures. The requirements engineering tool assists in making procedures that enhance verification and validation. When you keep procedures the same, verification and validation can become parts of the procedure and therefore less likely to be missed. So why should you use this tool called Visure? What does Visure do for traceability? Visure provides end-to-end traceability from requirements to tests, risks, user stories, and source code. The ability to easily track traceability without the need to use Excel or just trying to remember is a game changer for the requirements engineering space. What about for validation? Um, Visure helps define acceptance tests. It has automatic capture of acceptance tests if you are using Microsoft Office. It helps with the traceability between tests and requirements. It integrates with HP Quality Center. It provides a validation matrix, and it also helps raise change requests from the failed test or any other artifact your process required. What are the benefits of validation? It helps deliver quality products that cover the user's expectations, and it ensures that the collected requirements actually define the system required by the users. And lastly, what about reports? Really, the ability and need to deliver accurate and timely reports to the customer and the RE team is obviously really important. With Visure, users can generate any type of deliverables, such as custom specifications, traceability matrices, glossaries, or dashboards in PDF, Excel, Word, HTML, and other formats. So there are more things that Visure can do for you. We've got gathering, specification, and analysis. So obviously, requirements gathering includes many different steps and philosophies, a lot of which we covered in class. So Visure for this requirements gathering helps because all of the artifacts, along with the block diagrams and workflows, allow users to define and follow from very simple to highly complex requirements processes in just one tool. All of the stakeholders can easily understand, follow, and participate in this process. Administrators can enforce users to follow the process by customizing each element field and restricting traceability if they need to. And you can generate triggers to notify users about the status change of an element following its workflow. So what does Visure do for specification? You can create your own requirement types. You can define mandatory attributes. You can specify filters. You've got user-defined views. You can share your views. The interface changes based on the role that's designated to the user. You've got multi-dimensional structuring of requirements artifacts, and you can mix several element types in the same view and edit them in that view. And it's also got some built-in workflows. So what are the benefits of specification here? You can communicate requirements through the life cycle and generate reports containing metrics, dashboards, charts, and any other piece of information that's extracted from the project. And lastly, for analysis, which I'll get into on the next slide, you can deliver projects in time and in budget. You can prioritize needs, identify inconsistencies or missing elements. Essentially, the analysis tool in Visure gives you the ability to oversee all aspects of the project and kind of act as the project manager. So like I said, I wanted to highlight some stuff in analysis. In the next couple of slides, I'm going to highlight three previously discussed reasons for using Visure. The first one we're doing is analysis. And this is probably the coolest tool that Visure has, and probably one of the coolest tools that I've seen. It's called the Visure Quality Analyzer. This tool allows you to analyze the quality of the requirement in real time. So to me, I thought of those live fact checkers for the presidential debates. Most errors in systems development stem from poorly written or ambiguous and inconsistent requirements. So this tool helps engineers increase the clarity, consistency, and quality of their technical documentation. Essentially, the Visure Quality Analyzer acts as a spell check for requirements. So it checks for things like imperatives, negative imperatives, options, weaknesses, vagueness, subjectivity, continuances, directives. Visure's ability to be proactive in detecting ambiguity is going to save both time and money in the long run. So without requirements validation, you run into the most common issue that software engineers run into, which is something we discussed in the first presentation in class, which is this. Everybody sees the program differently. You have how the customer explained it, how the analyst designed it, how the programmer wrote it, what the customer really needed. Without the validation, you're going to wind up with something different from what was desired. And Visure's requirement validation functions make it easy to make sure that the requirements line up with what is expected from the shareholders. And lastly, I just want to look at reports because clear and concise reporting provides stakeholders with the best and most accurate view of the project. Any information that is inside of the Visure database from user entry is available to be put inside both automated and self-created reports. So they've got a lot of reports already ready for you. And if you want, you can create reports on your own based on specific information that you want in that report or specific information that the stakeholder wants in that report. So apart from the information in the database, the Visure Report Manager provides the capability to perform calculations and metrics that are obtained through either predefined operations and also through standard programming languages. So it can pull from different programming languages and pull into that report manager to get your stakeholders some more information. The reporting ability in Visure makes it easy for shareholders to see exactly what is being done on their project. So if you do a simple Google search, you can see that in excess of $3 trillion has been lost due to poor requirements engineering, and probably more. I didn't do a deep dive into Google. I just searched lost money from poor requirements engineering. So the most important thing to remember when selecting a requirements engineering tool is this. pick a tool, um, or you're going to have too many pieces in too many different places. Get to know that tool, get to know the ins and outs of it, and then stick with it. The longer you use the same tool, the more you'll understand it, and the better defined your processes and procedures will be. And when you've got well-defined processes and procedures, people issues tend to diminish because everybody winds up on the same page. The worst thing you can do is become a part of this above statistic. So utilize the tools made available. I would recommend Visure. So for those of you who have watched, thank you for listening. If you've got any questions about Visure, feel free to reach out to me. You've got my email here. I hope you guys have a happy holiday and finish the semester well.